Oh, hi everybody. Hi there, it's Fiona here, back for my weekly instalment of the Poetry of Painting. Hope everyone's had a good week. Mine just seems to have gone like a flash. Seems no time at all since my last show. Anyway, this week I'm really looking forward to sharing some more poetry and paintings with you, and with my special guest this week, the lovely Ritesh Nigam. So let me just bring Ritesh in. Hi, Ritesh. How are you? Welcome back.
Hi, Fiona. How are you? And hello.
Oh, sorry. I did that thing
That's
again of taking you back off accidentally. Finger trouble.
that's
So,
okay.
yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Yes, I'm very, very, very well. And I would say with the England results last night, everyone is so happy.
Yes. Is it a crime to confess that I don't watch the football? But I'm pleased for the outcome. So,
I
yeah,
know. I
it's
think
just
I'm not the biggest follower of football. Like, don't watch every weekend or something like that. But I just enjoy as a viewer. So I
yeah,
just and
yeah. Well, it's good
happy.
news.
Yeah, good news.
Absolutely. So, well, the painting that we're going to focus on this week is called Tracks on the Beach, and it was chosen by Ritesh for us to both do a poem about. It's painted in oils and it's 10 by 12 inches. And let me just bring that onto the screen. It is up here, but it's maybe a bit small in the background to see it, and the light's not very good tonight. So anyway, at least you can see it on the screen now. So, and I was just going to ask you as well, what drew you to this painting, Ritesh, as well?
I think probably the last holidays, because
Ah,
yeah, we went to Dorset and we went to Lulworth Cove, the Duddle Door, and the beaches around there. And
oh, lovely.
when you asked me to look at the paintings, I was just looking at landscape, and then I saw seascape. I said, okay, I've done
Yeah.
landscape. Let's look at the seascape, and here it was. And I said, ooh, the white cliff, the white clay cliffs,
Mm,
that's so Dorset, so Jurassic Coast. And I
yeah.
thought, I don't know where, obviously, you have to tell me where you have seen this and where it belongs to, because I don't know. So it's all my imagination that it
Yeah.
is somewhere in the Jurassic Coast, somewhere in England.
It it is sort of. It's actually on the Isle of Wight, which
Aha.
is, just across the water, basically.
Yep.
So the same sort of rock over there as well. And this was from a couple of years ago, I think it was now. We went over for a break over there, and I did a, fair bit of painting while I was there, which was great. And this is one of them. So, yeah, very, very similar. Easily mistaken, Dorset, Isle of Wight, very similar indeed. So well done.
Yeah. I won the
Yeah,
quiz nearly.
you, absolutely. So, Ritesh, would you like to read your poem for us now? Because I'm dying to hear it. So that'd
Okay.
be great.
Yeah. So when I was looking at and see, I think this is my third poem on your paintings, and whenever we collaborate, we obviously try to go into the poem and look
Mm,
around into the painting and look around, you know, what's happening,
mm,
where is the word, and then we try to, I think, as a poet, we try to be a bit more poetic, the crushing waves, the landscape. We try to go and grab those feelings.
mm.
But this time I took a different approach. So I took an approach of someone who has bought this painting from you,
Ah,
one of your customer. And
excellent.
that painting is on his or her wall. And what happens between the customer, the painting, the wall, you know. So
Mm,
that's
mm,
I kind of give it a different view. So
mm.
here is the poem. Yeah.
Great.
Um, so I kept the title same as Track on the Beach.
Hmm.
Under an azure sky, beautiful blue, blue borrowed by the sea below. Below, from where I observe the shore, shore lined by a serene track. Track was once filled with my footprints, footprints now captured in this painting. Painting that I have mounted on my wall that I see every day. Every day, it takes me to that beach that calms my mind which vividly remembers the track on the beach.
Wow, I like that. That in fact, I really particularly like that because that's what I like to think, that when somebody buys one of my paintings and they've got it on the wall, that they can almost walk into the painting, step into it, and feel that atmosphere again. And that's exactly what you've written about, which is amazing. So that's just what I want people to do, and to be able to almost like feel the breeze on their face and smell the salt air, and just take them back to happy times, or in a new scene to take them into down new avenues to explore and relax, and be calming for them. So that's great. Thanks ever so much, Ritesh. I love hearing that one. That's brilliant.
Thank you. I kept the format as link poetry, which is my forte now. So,
Yes.
and then when I was going back, and I think I started writing about the poem first, and then midway, just an idea pop up that, come out of the painting and look at the wall, and then it went into the next stage. So I love the whole, the process of thinking about the poem and then thinking about where it is placed as a painting, and then so poem, painting, and the customer.
Brilliant. Do you know, that's never occurred to me to have thought about poem from the customer's point of view, which is fascinating. So yeah, I like that. Thank you very much indeed. So well,
Now your turn.
sorry.
Yeah. Your turn.
Mine's a bit different. It's a more descriptive, I suppose, type of poem. So like you, I've called it Tracks on the Beach for obvious reasons. So here we go. A new page, a blank canvas, an empty expanse, the sand ironed flat with each rising tide, all tracks and designs, circles and lines, erased without trace by the incoming waves. Tracks made by swimmers on their daily visits, braving the waters, not missing a day. Refreshing in summer and bracing in winter. A great start to the day, and then on their way. The dog with its ball paws churning the sand as it races and turns to reclaim its toy. A break in the tracks as it runs through the surf, emerging again, heading back whence it came. On summer's warm days drawn by the ocean, the families flock to the clean golden sands. The tracks of all sizes crisscrossing the shore, parents and children, and babies that crawl. Surfers and kiteboarders, horses and riders, sandpipers and gulls, crabs, worms and whelks, tracks large and small scripting their stories, made ephemeral by the waters of the incoming tide. So that was mine, all about, thank you, all about the different types of tracks made by, different people, animals, sea life, the little crabs making their little tracks across it, and even the little worm, on the beach when the tide goes out, the little worms come up and they make those little like
Yeah.
worm casts on the sand. So I thought that's sort of like a track as well. So it's just set me thinking about all the different types of tracks there might be, and how transient they are. There today or there this morning, and maybe gone by lunchtime with the tide coming in and erasing them all. So
Now, I loved it. You wrote, the tracks scripting their own stories, different tracks, different stories, um,
mm,
and you definitely through your poem took the someone who's listening like me right at the family scene where everything it's a buzzing spot where you can see swimmers going in coming out the families now it's and for me I'm not the rhyming master and you are how you pick up the words which rhymes with each other that's
try.
beautiful that's beautiful because for me, the rhyming doesn't work for me. It like I struggle to find the words which rhymes with, and then
Mm,
what you do is so beautiful.
yeah, I mean,
Like
some of mine
paint.
do rhyme, and others I just don't feel the need to make a poem rhyme sometimes, and sometimes it just seems to happen, and then if it's happened for a few verses, then I want to try and make them all rhyme, but yeah, it's all a learning process, isn't it? It's all
It is.
developing and growing, which is fun. So have you written much poetry about landscapes and seascapes or anything, Ritesh? I know you've done the three for me now, which is brilliant, but um, is it something that you'd done before, or is it something new with the paintings?
I think with my poems, I used to do a bit of scenery,
Mm,
but not like looking at it. Instead of try to imagine and just how the words comes out. But this is a very new thing which I have been trying to do, looking at the scenery and then trying to um, get the words out of it. For me, it was the other way around. I'll get the words and then I will use the words and try to create a scenery. The other way around.
right. Yes. Yeah. And do you find, or how does this compare with what you normally write? Is it easier or more difficult, having that sort of, image or sort of given to you, as it were, or chosen by you in this case?
I think
Does
it's
that?
I would say it's easier because and when I choose your painting, I normally choose not only the painting but the title, which speaks to me.
Mm,
So when you say track on the beach, uh, those are the words with sounds, and I feel comfortable writing about. And as you say, when you said before you shared your poem that you did something on the tracks, and I was thinking, is it like tracks, like musical tracks, track and field, those kind of
ah,
tracks? And that idea also came to me. Being following the Olympics, so they are always using track and field events, and
yes.
I was thinking, and there is probably a good idea for you and me to work out that how you someone who is running on the beach practicing and then going to an Olympic and running on the track and kind of trying to, or someone who is on the track on the beach and then creating a track, a musical track, and those
Mm,
tracks come to, they all originates from this beach, so
yes. Yeah. So we could get a musician involved as well here, and have me painting, you writing poetry, and the musician writing some music to go with both. That's an
good idea.
idea.
Yeah.
Not
And
sure I know any musicians at the moment, but there again, I didn't know many poets before I started doing these shows, so I'm sure that could be
yeah,
surmounted. It's an opportunity, not a problem. So
maybe you will start another version called the music of painting.
yeah, or the musical poetry of painting.
Musical poetry. Well, I think music
Yeah.
and poetry, it goes, songwriting is all about putting your emotions, and it goes.
Mm.
It is, the moment you give beats to a poem, it becomes a song. So they
Yes.
go
Yeah.
hand in hand.
Absolutely. Now, wouldn't that be a good idea? Have our poetry and to go set to music to go with the paintings.
Yeah, I think
Hmm.
there was a concept where you can have a soundtrack attached to a painting, and then you can play that soundtrack, which tells what's happening, the waves, the sound of those
Yes.
waves. I think there was
Yeah.
once someone came up with that concept.
Mm. I'm
Uh,
sure it's probably been done already, but I just like the idea. So. But so
yeah,
have you
definitely.
got?
In
Yeah.
fact, um, my daughter wrote a link poetry poem for on Father's Day for me, and I was so surprised
Oh.
that she used the link poetry. And I'm not going to show it now because it has some of the things which is between our family. So I said okay,
Mm.
but I was surprised that she used link poetry, and she wrote about the father and she started the father who is poet. And I said, oh, I'm not a poet that way, but that's her way of looking. And then she a
But you
poet who
are a
is,
poet.
well,
You
so
are.
thank you, thank you. So I was amazed by how she, a 9-year old, used those words, that the
Yeah.
father who is a poet. And last line I still remember is say, the last moments do not last. Last
Mm.
moments, something like that. Last moment,
Yeah.
do not, no, last moment is not there. There will always be love.
Oh. Oh,
And I
that's
was,
lovely. And she's only 9.
she's only 9.
Oh my gosh.
And it
Wow.
it's also philosophical, the last moments are not
Mm.
there. So I was like, and I asked her, what do you mean by last moments are not there? And she said, well, the moment, that moment which you say something, that is gone, so it is not there.
Mm.
But there is always love. And I was, in our life we get so many things, we get attached to that last moment, that last
Mm.
feeling of anger. Sometimes someone angers us, or the last moment before we were so happy and now we are not, or last
Yeah.
moment we were so sad and then it continues and we think that that is gonna be, but that last moment is gone, it is not
Mm.
there. And
Mm.
there will always be love. So it yeah, there were tears in my eyes when I look at it.
I
That
bet. Oh, what a lovely Father's Day gift. That's amazing. It really is. Yeah.
it is, it
It's
is.
it's a bit like with meditation where, you're encouraged to live in the moment and to let go of thoughts because they are just thoughts, and, to be more present, to say, in the moment. And that's a little bit like that, I suppose, isn't it? The last moment isn't there.
It's in there,
So,
yeah.
wow, she could be.
Ah,
Could be a great philosopher in the making here, or a great poet in the making, of course.
I hope
For the
so. Yeah,
the
yeah,
example set
yeah.
by her dad.
Yeah. Well, I just want her to be able to express whatever she feels, which is, I think, and then
Mm,
let her decide what she wants to be.
yes, yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
such a sweet story. I love that. So what other news have you got for us at the moment, Ritesh?
Oh, so I will be reading probably one of the other poem on a Cafe's Poet. So Cafe's Poet is an online forum. It used to be an offline, a proper face-to-face meeting
Mm,
place in
mm.
Reading, and it's been running for last 20 years. So it's an amazing platform where people come and read their poetry. Um, Newcomers are welcome, as I am a newcomer. So I think it will be my third open mic. So I'll be doing a poem over there. Um,
Excellent.
and
Wow. And is it quite a large group, or?
it varies, but sometimes it's 30 people, sometimes it's 50 people. So it's quite a good gathering if you look at,
Yes.
the kind of people who turn up. Um,
Mm,
it's run by a local, well-known author and poet, Claire Dyer. Uh,
mm.
she reads poetry on BBC Berkshire Radio. Um,
Oh,
and yeah, so I get to know so many new people. And I have never been part of a poetic, group or something where I learned poetry. So I'm kind of a good learning platform for me.
mm. Yes, because I should imagine there'll be so many different styles and types of poetry, between all the different members as well.
Exactly.
So,
With so much of
yeah.
experience, people joining from abroad as well, from across the pond, from America,
Yeah.
and coming up with their style of poetry and how
Mm,
people. It's a good platform to even discuss, what kind of poetry people are writing about. So
mm,
it's a
mm.
that will be my next performance.
Excellent. Are there sort of trends in poetry? Do you find that, I know you've not been a poet for, donkey's years, but have you noticed that you get trends in poetry that, a certain subject will start to appear a lot more, or a different type of poem, or
I think uh, with the new generations coming in, and if I don't know if you have heard about the term Insta poet, the people who are Instagram poet.
right?
So they are Insta poet where they just write what they feel like, not bounded by the words, the rules, the rhyming pattern or a
Mm,
meter. And I think that has liberated a lot of people just to
mm,
express their feeling instead of trying to fit in the words. um,
right.
and the young generation is all about, and I think we were, well, it's not, we are not young, but I'm talking about when you are at a stage where you're a rebel. You want to write
Mm,
something or do something which other people have not done. And why to? And I think that is a trend at the moment, that people are breaking the boundaries and trying to create new form of poetry where they just express what they feel like.
mm.
And some are like, 2 or 3 lines, or just 4 lines or 5 lines,
Right.
not big poems, because
Mm,
I think that is also a trend, isn't it? That people have a very low attention span. 140
yes.
characters and swiping. So people, you
Mm,
need to get that attention in those first 6 seconds.
mm, mm. Yes, once you've got them hooked, they may carry on and read, but as you say, we're all bombarded with so much stuff all the time that, short, sweet little sound bites are quite attractive, really, aren't they? So, yeah. So, well, we've got some good news as well. Well, hopefully dependent on the weather, which isn't looking quite so good for Saturday as it was, but we're going to be starting our outdoor exhibitions at Kingston again on Saturday, all being well.
Hmm.
So, which is what we do, or well, it's been 18 months almost since we did our last one because of COVID. Um, but we would normally be there every other Saturday throughout the year. The main thing which would stop us would be strong winds, because then it can blow the paintings around and blow the boards over, and it's not worth the risk. Um, if it's just showery, we'll still go and cover the paintings with plastic sheets when it's wet and uncover them again. And so
That's
hopefully,
that's exciting. And how many
it,
people come over there? How many
there are
painters?
well, there were 6 of us in the group. Sadly, we lost one a couple of years ago. She was 95 and still painting, but sadly, she's no longer with us. And we're now actually down to 4. So we're probably going to be looking at getting at least one more person back on board as well. And it's a lovely little group. I've been doing it now for, I think, probably getting on for 15 years, but the group's been going for something more like 40 years or so.
Wow.
But anybody that joins us needs to be quite hardy, because it is outdoors and it is all through the year and each Saturday in December in the lead up to Christmas. So, it can be cold. and there can be quite a few layers going on just to try and keep the cold out. But it is good fun, and it's lovely. You can't wait to just get back there and actually see people and talk to people and have people be able to see our work in person, because I think it's always lovely to see artwork and things like that for real in person rather than just on a screen, because you don't get the same effect.
I know. I think the one thing COVID has shown everyone that how important a face-to-face, that touch, that the technology cannot do that.
No, it's been a real blessing during COVID, but it's still not the same as actually meeting in person. So, and especially from my point of view with a lot of my recent paintings on the gold leaf and one on silver leaf as well now.
Yeah.
The way that sort of changes with the different lights, and the way that if you angle the painting or move around it's just, the effects are quite magical. So
they
really
are. I've seen your videos, and they are magical. So
yeah.
Definitely, if not this time, but slowly, one day I'll be there, one Saturday.
That'd be great. Bring the family and meet them all.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think we
great.
always get excited when I live in Reading, so it's not every day that we have to go in underground, and kids always get excited about going to London.
Yes, yeah. When you don't have to do it, it's exciting. For people that have to do it every day, it tends to, the shine wears off a bit after a while. But
I know.
yeah. But that'd be great if to see you there one day. It'd be wonderful. So, but if you do decide to go, and this goes for anybody else that's watching, if you'd like to come and visit us there, we'd love to see you. It'd be great to talk to people again and have you look at the work. There's no obligation to buy. Don't feel like you're going to be pressured to buy anything. You won't. It'd just be lovely to share it with you. If you do want to buy something, that's great as well, of course. But if you want to come and see us, always check on the Friday night. Just drop me a message or an email or something, and just to make sure that we will be there, because let's say if it's going to be strong winds or something, we do sometimes have to cancel it. So always give me a quick check first beforehand, and or even on the day, send me a message or a text or something, and I'll just let you know if we're there or not. But it's going to be great to see people again. So
true. And what are your timings? Like, what times you're available?
Well, we get there about 8 and start setting up. So probably from say 9 till about 4:30, and then soon after 4:30 we'll be thinking about packing up. In the winter we pack up a bit earlier, of course, because it gets dark so early, and being outside, it's not like being in a building where you've got the lighting. So but at this time of year, say about 9 to 4:30. Yeah, good point, Ritesh, thank you. So but even if just see people, talk with them, see people that we haven't seen for ages, because we get a lot of people that just like to stop by and have a chat and just have a look at the paintings, and it would just be lovely to see people and catch up with them again. So yeah,
I'm sure you'll love it. There are so many people outside. I was in London a couple of weeks ago, last week I think, and it's bustling. It's getting back, so I'm sure you'll get lots of people to come and look at the paintings. So
we hope so. So. I mean, we normally get lots of people walking by, but obviously, not everybody's got the time or the inclination to stop. So, but we do get a lot of people come and talk to us, which is lovely. So, be great to see you. If anybody does want to go, we're opposite the Bental Centre, outside of Barclays Bank, on the pedestrian bit through Kingston there. So hopefully the weather will be kind to us, and we'll be there on Saturday. So yeah. So it's been absolutely great having you back on the show, Ritesh. Really enjoyed it, and your lovely poem from such a different angle that I hadn't even thought about that sort of angle at all. So thank you very much for that, and I hope that you'll come back again very soon to join me for another session of poetry painting.
Oh,
So
I look forward to it, Fiona, and it's lovely,
brilliant.
again, lovely to be with you. Thank you.
Lovely. Well, thank you for coming on. So next week I'll be back with another fabulous poet who will be joining me for more talk about poetry and painting. So I hope you'll all be able to join us again for that. It's a new time of 7 o'clock, like today, UK time that is, here on Facebook. So be lovely to see you. And if you want to be kept up to date with all the news like Kingston and new paintings, you can sign up to my VIP mailing list to get my newsletter with all the latest news and invitations to events and things. And you can do that at my website, which is www.fionahooper.com. So stay safe, everybody. Have a good week and see you next week on Wednesday for another edition of Poetry of Painting. And it's bye for now from Ritesh and myself. Thanks
Bye-bye.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.